God damn it, Sony. Sony! Sony! What are you doing? You fucked up! Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King, and B and I just got back from the theaters. Why? I just saw Morbius, the Living Vampire. This is a 2022 film. I feel like I've been waiting, 2 or 3 years since this movie was first put out there, that first trailer. And the plot. Okay, so really quick. Because this story, this film, everything about this movie is simple as fuck. Jared Leto plays Michael Morbius, who is a doctor that has this horrible blood disease that makes him very weak and almost immobile. He's been working all of his life to find a cure, and he has found this cure. Supposedly, he crosses human DNA with bat DNA and turns himself into a vampire. Oops! And now, as a vampire, he has to stop himself from wanting to eat people and kill people and drink their blood. Oh. And if that was only what the movie was, it might be something that I could recommend and say, this movie's not bad. But of course, there's so much more that dumbs this movie down. And yeah, I did not like this movie at all. There was about 2 different instances where I found myself almost falling asleep, and I wasn't even tired going into the movie. I just I don't know, I wasn't interested. I can't say that it was it dragged, because the movie feels like an hour and a half, minus the credits. It very well might be an hour and a half, and they sped through everything, especially Michael Morbius' backstory, him growing up. And Jared Leto, I will say that he's not bad. It's nowhere near him as the Joker in the Suicide Squad, but I do feel like he was a little, not to be funny, lifeless, right? He just was sort of delivering his lines and doing everything that he had to do, but his character didn't have the charisma or the energy that I was hoping he would have. This whole movie felt very much like the Marvel superhero films that were made back in the early to mid 2000s. Back where fans like me were just glad to get whatever superhero it was, and as long as they were wearing their costumes, and as long as there was cool action, I didn't really care about the story. I didn't really care about the dialogue. I didn't even really care about the acting. I was just so easy to please back then. But because of where I'm at now in my life, because of what Marvel MCU proper has given us, bestowed upon us, we can't really settle for mediocre. We can't really settle for something that's just okay. Or at least I don't want to settle for just something like this. And I know that Sony thinks they know what they're doing. Sony probably thinks they don't need Disney Marvel to move forward with the Spider-Man franchise, but I am terrified. I am nervous upon hell on what Sony has planned. Some of the other actors we should probably talk about. We have a character named Martine, who is played by Arjana. And I'm not really familiar with this actress, but I did like her. I liked her in the movie. I thought her character was fine. She's more or less the love interest for Jared Leto. Jared Harris plays Morbius' mentor, somebody that sort of looked after him growing up. And this is a good actor, but my God, he's only in this movie for 3 scenes, and then that's it. It's just, there's not nearly enough time spent with some of these characters to care about them, to care if anything happens to them. Why is Tyrese in this goddamn movie? Why? He plays a detective or an agent or some sort of law enforcement figure. Him and his partner show up at every crime scene, and Tyrese has one monotone way of delivering all of his lines. What's going on here? And then that's it, and then they cut to a little while later. He walks into another crime scene, It's our guy, isn't it? And then they cut. It's just like, why? You could have cut all of his police random scenes and it would not affected the plot at all, you know? It just would have been like, oh, okay, the movie's even faster. Matt Smith, I'm not going to get into too much of his character because clearly none of the trailers really gave anything away with his character. I felt like it showed the same shot of him in the subway. So I'll just say that I like Matt Smith as an actor. I thought his acting was very good, and I thought there was some scenes with him and Jared Leto that I thought the dynamic was interesting at first. But then, I'll say towards the end of the movie, I did not understand Matt Smith's character's point of view, where he was coming from, why he was doing the things that he was doing. It was just like, dude, you got what you wanted. Go on with your life. What are you still doing here? The movie is technically a vampire movie for all intents and purposes, but it is PG-13, so remember that. A decent amount of people do die, so that was a little surprising, but it's one of those situations where even though they say that they're drinking blood, even though they say that blood has been drained from bodies, there's not one shot of blood to be seen. Michael Keaton. They have been using poor Michael Keaton for so many of these trailers, trying to promote the fact that, oh, this movie must be connected to Marvel or Spider-Man or the MCU in some way, shape, or form. And I will say that Michael Keaton is only there for the after credits. And the after credits are the worst parts of this movie. They're awful. They're terrible. There's 2 post-credit scenes, and it's terrible. It's the worst part of the movie. It made me sit through the whole film and say, I didn't hate this movie. I was just sort of coasting through it, paint by numbers, just saying, all right, it is what it is. I'm not angry until the post-credits. And almost solely because of the post-credits, I'm giving this movie some old bullshit.
Man, this some old bullshit.
Let me know in the comments below if you have any interest in seeing Morbius. Why? Curiosity, maybe? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.